Hi, I wanted to do another video because I was sitting with my mom yesterday morning. She got up a little earlier than she had been the last few days, and we were sitting in our living room talking. She was looking out of the window, and she started having the same vision that she's been having for about a week now. She's been seeing cars, what she thought anyway were cars not piled up, but cars sitting on a freeway, which when she initially started having this vision, she saw cars sitting on the freeway, and there was one dead body. And then the next time she saw the vision, she saw other dead bodies on the freeway. And then she started having more visions, and she was seeing cars stop. She just kept with each vision. I think, well, with one of the visions, I think the third or fourth time she saw it, she said it looked like they were escaping some type of a disaster. And so yesterday morning, she started having this vision again, and sometimes she won't accept the fact that it's a vision. She's got dementia. She'll say, "No, I'm seeing it. You need to put your glasses on. Don't you see this?" And she did ask me to come and sit with her so I could see what she's saying. She said, "Sit next to me. If you sit next to me, you might be able to see it." I said, "Mom, I always see." In fact, I'm outside now, and there's a wall. It's the wall and these trees. Is all that's here. But she saw more than that. And she said that what she was saying. She said, "I see. Why are those cars there? Why are those trucks there? Why do they stop like that?" And she said, "Why are they piled up on top of each other?" And then she said, "I see water." And she said, "Oh, it's a bridge." She said, "I see a bridge." And then she said that she saw it looked like part of the bridge had collapsed and fell into the water. All she saw was water coming over the bridge. And she saw bodies of people in the water dead. She saw some people alive reaching for help inside of the water. She saw people holding onto the side of the bridge, getting ready to fall off, but she said they were hanging on, crying out for help. And she said, "This is terrifying." I'm kind of just summing it in a short amount of time because I don't want this to be a long drawn out video. But she said, "I saw people hanging onto the bridge for their lives." And she saw some cars. She said, "I see some hills in the back, and I see some cars trying to go up the hill to get out of California." She said, "They're trying to leave California." She said, I was asking her, what do you think caused this? And she said, it could either, she said, an earthquake or a bad storm. She said a hurricane could do something like this. And she said, "No, this isn't a hurricane. It's the dream progressed, or not the dream, but the vision progressed, or the retelling of the vision." She said it was not a hurricane, it was an earthquake. And then she said, "I see the vision coming to me. I'm having an open vision." She actually stated that she was having an open vision. She said, "I can see it coming to me, which means that it hasn't happened yet, but it's something that's yet to come." And then she said, I'm trying to remember, I wrote some things down. She said she remembered, seeing the cars trying to get out of town. And then she saw some cars on the freeway that had been piled up, like they were piled up into the back of each other, like they came to a sudden stop. And then I was trying not to, I don't want to put any words in her mouth, so I said, "Well, can you see the color of the bridge?" And she said, she was looking at it like that, and it wasn't like pictures. Some people see pictures coming to them, but she saw what looked like a movie reel. The way she described it was like a movie reel. It was actually moving and happening as if it were really happening in real life. And she saw, gosh, I lost my train of thought. Okay, the people in the water. Oh, she saw the cars piled up. And then at one point, towards the end of the vision, she said she saw, "Oh my gosh." She said, "Look at how they're just swaying." She said, "They're swaying like this." She said, "Look." And she showed me, and she said, "They're just swaying back and forth like this." And she said, "They're swaying from the jolts of the earth." And it's like, "You're seeing the earthquake?" She said, "I'm seeing the earthquake." And she said, "Jesus." She said, "Lord, that's terrifying." She said, "I don't ever want to see this again, Lord. I hope I never see this again." And she said, "The people don't know what's coming." She saw the thing shake like that, and then I think part of the bridge at that point had given way from what she described. And she said, "No, I see some cars trying to go that way." She said, "No, they can't get out that way." She said, "They're going to have to go around." She said, "There's no way out. There's no way for them to get out." And then I remember just thinking, I felt so somber when she was saying this, and I was praying immediately. Oh, that's right, I was about the color of the bridge. So I said, "Do you know what city? Can you tell if this was in America or was it some other city?" She said, "No, this was in California." She said, "This was definitely California." She said, "Looks like when you go up north, like when you go into Washington." She used to live in Washington State. She's driven here many times in her younger days, but she said that this looks like it, when you go up north, she said like it could be Washington, but she said no, it looks like Northern California. And I said, I noticed you saw the hills, and I said the bridge. I said, I don't want to tell you any names, but I said, does it look like the Golden Gate Bridge? Do you remember the Golden Gate Bridge? She said, I remember the Golden Gate Bridge. And she said, but when I asked her earlier the color, she said, I see a lot of bluish green. She said, I can't tell what color it is because of the water. The water is covering the bridge. So then, when I mentioned Golden Gate, she said, yes, it looks like it could be the Golden Gate Bridge. She said, I can't tell the colors. She said, repeated it again. She said, but it looks like the Golden Gate Bridge. I've been on that bridge before. And then she said, and it's so beautiful and green, like the hills have such beautiful green trees, so the greenery is really, really pretty. And she said, it's too bad that this area is going to be destroyed. And with that, I mean, there was more, like I was trying to get her to show the swaying motion on tape, because I hadn't combed her hair because she woke up that morning and came downstairs and sat on the couch, and I made her something to eat. We were talking. I had rushed my kids to school that morning, and so I hadn't done her hair yet and stuff, and I don't want to get her on tape. But I wanted to at least get her words on tape, but I was a little bit distance away from her, so you could kind of hear it's a little muffled. So by the time I got my computer in front of her, you could hear some things clearer. The shaking part, like the swaying stuff, you can't see the swaying motion, so that's why I had to demonstrate for you. And then right when I was telling her, can you show me the swaying motion, and I was going to ask her some more questions, there was a knock on the door, and someone came for an appointment that I forgot that we had. I mean, I guess they came a little bit earlier than they were supposed to. And at that point, the vision stopped. So today she saw two angels in white that coming towards the house. She's been seeing her mom, who's been deceased. I don't know if the Lord's getting ready to take her home, because she's been having a lot of supernatural visions. She saw a vision back in, I think it was June, of, it's either May or June, I have it on tape too, where she was, that day she saw a terrible earthquake in California, flattening houses, causing a lot of destruction. Oh, one more thing about the bridge vision. She said she saw the water going crazy, like something had disturbed the water really bad. That's before she saw the swaying and shaking. But she said something destroyed the water, caused the water to go crazy and out of control and come onto the land and destroy the land and come onto the bridge. That's what she said, the bridge also collapsed. So, and she said, I remember her saying, this is terrifying. Oh, and that's why we need to get out of California. She said, you'd be crazy to stay here if you could see what I see right now. She said, but that's why we need to get out of here. We need to sell this house and get out of here. She'll go back and forth. Like she'll keep saying, I want to go home. We've been in this house for 20 years. But she says, I want to go home. And the only thing we can conclude is that she's talking about heaven. Although when we ask her, no, I'm not talking about heaven. I'm talking about the house that I live in, because this is not my home. And it makes so much sense about our spiritual home. Like we're just passing through this world, but our home is for the believer in eternity with Jesus Christ in heaven. And I believe that's what she's saying. But she did admit once, and I hate to say admit because it's not like she's been not admitting it, but sometimes she'll come to her senses and she'll say, I've been sick for a while, but in my sickness the Lord has showed me a lot of things to come. And so one of the days anyway, that she saw this dream about a terrible earthquake coming to California, or had this vision I should say, she was sitting in front of the TV. Well, we were in the den, family room, and the kids were watching cartoons, and I have that on tape. You can hear the cartoons playing in the back. And she says, oh, it's terrible. She said, this was a big shaker, but she said, there's still the big one. They said, they're saying it on the news. They've been telling us about this in the news every day. She said, they've been warning us that it's coming. She said, I'm watching it right now. She was watching it like that, like she was looking at the news, and you could clearly hear the cartoons in the background. So I believe the Lord is just continuing to pour out His Spirit, like He says in the book of Joel. He's pouring out His Spirit on all flesh, and young and old are seeing visions. I'll admit, I have been really scared about this ISIS threat that's going on, and I haven't been walking in the faith and trust of the Lord, the peace of the Lord, because I've been afraid by what I see, been moved by these visions that my mom is having and things like that. But I have to know that God is in control and that He does not want us to be afraid. He warns us so that we can be prepared. He doesn't warn us so that we can go around in fear. He warns us so that we can be prepared. And He has His covering over us. If it's not our time, we're not going anywhere, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. It reminds me of the times, like with this ISIS, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but with ISIS, it reminds me of times in the Old Testament where the enemy would send these threats, and I'm going to do this to you, and I'm going to do that to you, like to King Hezekiah. and to the Jews who were trying to rebuild the wall, in the books of Ezra and Nehemiah, how Sanballat and Tobiah are threatening them and sending all these messages, these intimidating messages about what they're going to do. And they said with these beheading videos, that's exactly what they're trying to do, is intimidate people and put fear in their hearts and minds, terrorize fear. But perfect love casts out fear, and the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So I say to these things that are coming on the earth, they're fearful things, but if we can stand in the peace of God, we don't have to be afraid of them. We just have to be prepared and ready, know that they're coming, and just like I say, have your house in order. That means have your supplies together. More importantly, have your soul together, have your spiritual life together, because we don't know what's coming when and how long, and we don't know. Only the Lord knows. We just live our lives, and I try to enjoy life. I was watching some videos of people on roller coaster rides earlier, and just laughing until I was in tears. And you enjoy life. You still have your lighthearted moments, and you just try to enjoy life. We know things are coming that are going to turn our world upside down. 9/11 already did that. But we just try to make the best of the time that we have and tell other people about Jesus Christ and how He can turn their lives around and how they can come to know Him. So with that, I got to run to the store and get dinner for my family. So God bless you guys, and thank you for watching. My computer is a little time delayed, so I'm hoping my voice matches up with what my words are, because I've already recorded this video once. I don't want to have to do it again. So God bless you guys, and peace be with you.